In nearly 4 years as the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo CFR has pursued an ambitious development-driven agenda backed by clear budget and major capital investments. He has demonstrated strict fiscal discipline while ensuring recognition of the state's growing sustainability. Today, the 25th of November 2025, as he presents the 2026 Appropriation Bill to the State House of Assembly, that vision remains even more focused. Welcome to Solution Footprints. Come along as we take you through the proceedings of the presentation of the 2026 Appropriation Bill in Anambra State. My name is Chidima Orangwa. Let's go. For over 3.5 years, Anambra State has been on a transformative journey under the leadership of Governor Charles Soludo CFR. Since assuming office in March 2022, Governor Soludo has presented ambitious budgets, each designed to accelerate economic growth, enhance infrastructure, and uplift the lives of Anambra people.
This administration is the first government since we crafted the Anambra Vision 2070, a 50-year development plan for the state, and thus with the historic duty to lay the foundations for the envisioned, livable, and prosperous smart megacity, the African Dubai, Taiwan, Silicon Valley, ADTS. This first term of our administration will end on March 17th, 2026. Over the past 3 years and 8 months, we have been very intentional and focused on delivering across the 5 pillars of our manifesto, which is the short-term agenda en route towards the year 2070, namely security, law and order, infrastructure and economic transformation, human capital and social agenda, governance and a new value system, and finally, 5th pillar, environmental sustainability.
Today, we take an in-depth look at the budgets crafted over his tenure, reviewing the performance and impact, and see how Anambra has moved from vision to reality. 2022 budget, laying the foundation. Taking off from the blocks is the theme of the 2022 budget.
The purpose of the 2022 revised budget is to reflect current realities, challenges and priorities of the new administration and the Anambra.
Governor Soludo inherited a challenging economic landscape, but immediately set out to steer Anambra toward fiscal prudence and improved governance. The 2022 supplementary budget, valued at 169,621,744,131 naira, emphasized the restoring fiscal discipline and prioritizing critical sectors such as security, education, and infrastructure. Though the actual was 121,410,777,383 naira 95 kobo. Performance-wise, the government achieved about 71.58% implementation of the capital projects, successfully upgrading key road networks within the state, rehabilitating public schools, among others.
Amazingly, 4 years, almost 4 years of one of the most awesome revolutions in education. Professor Charles Soludo CFR transformed in totality the education space of Anambra State. He met a moribund education system, a near moribund education system, especially in the public schools, where the schools were so dilapidated. There were no teachers, the infrastructures were non-existent. He set out to employ teachers and immediately abolished the phenomena of schools without teachers. He employed, within a space of 9 months, he employed 8,115 teachers, fully qualified teachers, recruited through one of the most outstanding, transparent examinations. The best teachers were employed for Anambra State. You may ask me the result, amazing results. wonderful performance, achievements, both from the teachers and the students, awards, laurels from international and national.
(2023) budget build investments for economic diversification. The 2023 budget was themed Budget of Acceleration. It increased to 269,3,093,968 naira, reflecting a strategic shift toward job creation and economic diversification. Notable allocations were made to agriculture, technology, and youth empowerment programs.
As a reflection of our people's priority needs, about 91.8 billion, or 56% of the total capital expenditure, is devoted to road transport, power, and urban regeneration that the average citizen can feel, see, or use, and which have the highest developmental impact within the shortest possible time. Education, health, youth, and women and vulnerable groups have their capital votes more than doubled.
In terms of performance, 60.43% of the budget was executed, with an actual of 162,551,996,113 naira 8 kobo, a marked improvement. Key achievements included launching the state agricultural development programs, which boosted food production, enhanced power and water distribution projects that expanded electricity and water access across the state, empowering Anambra entrepreneurs and the youth, thereby laying a firm groundwork for long-term prosperity.
I have done some extensive research and review of his past budget. I'm particularly interested in the women inclusion and youth. He's a very youth-friendly governor and women-friendly, and we find that the youth and women of Anambra are firmly behind him. He has really performed. Any right-thinking, sane individual who sees what happens in Anambra State understand we have a working governor. We are very, very impressed with his records. He's someone I followed for years before I ran for office, and even before he became a governor of Anambra State. His precedences, his antecedents speak for him. So I'm always eager to see what new groundbreaking schemes he has in store for us as Anambra.
2024 budget, accelerating infrastructure and social services. The 2024 budget was tagged Changing Gears, the transformation agenda begins.
Over the past 20 months since our swearing on March 17, 2022, we have intentionally focused on judiciously implementing the budget to address several of the foundational key challenges and the results are beginning to show.
With a budget size of 410,132,225,259 naira, 2024 prioritized infrastructure development and social welfare programs. The government increased funding for road construction, healthcare modernization, and education reforms, including teacher training and expanded education schemes. Performance reports indicate a 71.30% budget achievement, with notable success stories such as the completion of major arterial roads, establishment of modern health facilities, significant improvement in school facilities, among others. Citizens began to feel the impact directly, with improved access to healthcare services and a better learning environment for Anambra's children.
I can relate what I've seen in this administration as the kind of thing that is comparable to where I've worked before. If you trend it from 2022, 23, 24, our capital budget has been very incremental. And not only that, if you look at the budget performance in all these years, our performance has been very good in totality. Mr. Governor's achievements, if I want to do a comparable, based on my previous life, in the 10 years I was in London Borough of Brent, seeing a project we started and we did not complete. So that is what I've seen in Anambra State. This is a place we award a contract, and we see the completion within that scheduled timeline. And that is why you see our budget performance that is almost hitting the rightful percentage.
2025 budget, consolidating gains and driving sustainable growth. The 2025 budget, which was christened Changing Gears 2.0, rose to 606,991,849,118 naira 12 kobo, maintaining focus on economic resilience, infrastructure, and enhancing government transparency through digital innovations in revenue collection and public service delivery.
As you are aware, the general macroeconomic conditions under which we have had to implement the 2024 budget have been challenging, especially with the immediate consequence of the courageous removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the exchange rate. Despite the macroeconomic challenges, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have remained focused on the ball, delivering on all the 5 figures of the solution agenda.
Prorated for 10 months, the budget is 505,826,540,931 naira 77 kobo. So far, budget performance has been impressive, with 60.71% implementation achieved in the first 3 quarters. Investment in road infrastructure has continued at a pace, while social welfare programs have expanded, particularly targeting women and vulnerable groups.
I say that currently, as at October, we're at 61%. And it marks 61% not minding that this is an election year. And also understanding, if you look through our budget, 77% of our budget is towards capital expenditure, and mostly infrastructure work, which are roads and major infrastructure, which do not go well under the rainy season. So the real implementation, which is where bulk of our budget is during this dry season. The dry season has started. I don't expect to see anything less than 75 budget performance by the end of the year. That's because we'll be able to achieve 61% so far. This period, we would be speeding up some infrastructure investment, which most of the contractors in dry season have been waiting for. In fact, dry season also almost runs from November through March next year. So we expect to accumulate, gain some traction before 31st of December and the budget cycle ends.
The 2026 budget is not an exception. Anambra State, under Governor Soludo, has maintained a steady ascent onto greater levels of transformative impacts.
We gather for a sacred democratic ritual, the presentation of 2026 appropriation bill, a pivotal moment that shapes the trajectory of our beloved state. Budgets are not mere comparison of figures or allocations. They are strategic roadmaps that chart our collective destiny. They embody our priorities, mirror our aspirations, and demonstrate our unwavering commitment to improving the lives of Anambra. Mr. Governor, over the past 3.5 years, Anambra State has experienced unprecedented transformation under your visionary leadership. The solution agenda has transcended rhetorics to become a tangible realities across our 21 local government areas. From economic revitalization to substantial investment in critical social sectors, from progressive governance reforms to environmental sustainability initiatives, the evidence of progress is undeniable. We sincerely applaud your all-round development of the state. Health, infrastructural development, education, power, water, land administration, amongst others, we urge you to consolidate on your land administration reform, without which the 2 new cities you are planning will not be successful. This legislature deeply appreciates your commitment to collaborative governance, your openness to rotating oversight, Your responsiveness to our resolution, your respect for the principle and separation of powers have strengthened our democracy and enhanced policy effectiveness. This partnership has been instrumental in translating vision into tangible outcomes from the Anambra. 2020 projects situated within the context of the approval enter represent the first major policy statement of your second tenure. It must demonstrate continuity with the achievements of the past 3.5 years, while signaling new ambitions and expanded horizons. It must balance fiscal prudence with development capacity. It must reflect both the lessons learned from implementation strategies and the confidence gained from proving success. This Honorable House pledges to give 2026 budget proposal a thorough, objective, and expeditious consideration in reserve. We shall exercise our constitutional responsibility of appropriation with diligence, ensuring that every naira allocated translates into measurable value for our citizens. We shall scrutinize the proposals not as adversaries, but as partners committed to the same goal.
The proposed size for the 2026 fiscal year is 754,884,487,705 naira. When compared to the 2025 budget, it represents a 24.1% increase, reflecting the present administration's intensified efforts on execution.
Suffice it to report that we have been firing on all cylinders over the past 3 years, and the results are evident even to the blind. Many now say that Anambra is happily on the rise. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, our vision to transform Anambra into a destination of choice rather than a departure land is fully on course. Our human capital agenda is powered by a big bang revolution designed to build the next generation of citizens with great stakes in our future and who are productive at home and exportable abroad. It is a revolutionary policy and provides ladders of opportunity to every child, from the womb to productive adulthood and respectable retirement. Here, today, and before you is the 2026 budget proposal for Anambra. From all that has been said or presented thus far, it is evident that there is no slowing down in our journey. Rather, we will accentuate the drive, as this is an agenda with a deadline. We remain focused on acceleration mode, driven by a steadfast commitment to execution. In 2026, we intend to focus even more intensely and intentionally on the full execution of our multifaceted agenda. Recurrent expenditure is projected at 161.6 billion, representing a 16.6% year-on-year growth, while capital expenditure stands at 595.3 billion, a 26.3% growth relative to 2025 appropriation. Notably, the capital budget accounts for 79% of the total budget size, with recurrent expenditure at 21%, a clear demonstration of our commitment to deliver tangible outcomes on the Anambra. The budget deficit is estimated at 225.7 billion, representing 29.8% of the total budget size. This deficit is expected to be financed, if necessary, through hybrid financing options, including possible privatization proceeds, bump in IGR collections, and concessionary borrowing, mostly for bankable projects. However, it is important to note that since the beginning of this administration, we have not borrowed to finance budget deficits. And depending on the pace of execution in 2026, we may still not need to borrow. Our fiscal discipline remains firm. Relative to 2025, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, all key sectors increased year on year. For example, on the budget estimate that you have before you, the administrative sector increases by 12.29%, the economic sector by 26.7%, social sector by 31.4%, education by 46.85%, health by 13%, and infrastructure investments by 27.7%. These increases reflect our priorities in strengthening human capital, boosting economic growth, expanding critical infrastructure, and security well-being in the Anambra. Our focus in 2026 is to deepen and consolidate the foundations laid in our first tenure, while also introducing new legacy projects that will define Anambra's future for decades to come, while delivering across the 5 pillars of the solution agenda.
Indeed, through disciplined budgeting, strategic investment, and unwavering commitment to accountability, Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo's administration has propelled Anambra into a new era of development. Economic indicators show increased local investment, rising employment rate, and improved quality of life on the Anambra.
It had always been like 3/4 for capital, 1/4 for recurrent. Okay, like this one now, this is 79% capital and 21% recurrent. If you look at this type of budget, it shows that it is a budget of progressiveness, budget that considers human development. Because when you talk about recurrent expenditure, it is just those monies, that is the running cost and the overhead cost. But once you talk about the capital expenditure, it is the money used to develop the state. So it is developmental. It has always been developmental in nature, from 2.4, 2.5, and the expected 2.6. They are all developmental in nature, and the outcome of it is the massive development one sees the governor is doing now in this state.
From upgraded infrastructure and empowered youth to strengthen social services, Anambra's story is one of transformation, proof that visionary leadership combined with effective budgeting can indeed lift a state to greater heights.
While we are here doing our thing, there are a group of people watching. So there is budget who run states. Anambra State has consistently, every quarter, there is a deadline of 31st December. This budget we have had, this draft budget now needs to be somewhere on the website. There's a regulation on that. So the draft budget now needs to be on there's a deadline before 31st of December. The draft budget needs to be on the website. MTF that has been approved needs to be on the website. There is the approved budget. Budget needs to be signed off by 31st of December. The approved budget needs to be on our website before 31st of January. There is a quarterly budget performance that needs to be submitted on the website 1 month after the quarter end, before 31st. So we need to report that. The audited report has its own deadline, July 31st. Our Accountant General's report, the auditor's report, so all these things we're tracking. So Anambra State has been quite consistent. So because we know that we're not working for ourselves, we're working for the people. And the only way we can give the confidence or show improve the confidence of our citizens of government is letting them know what we are doing. So we have consistently ranked number 1 in fiscal transparency, and in addition to that, I think recently we ranked number 1 in fiscal sustainability. Of course, they are transparent enough for them to then see that it is sustainable.
As the journey continues, the people of Anambra look forward to sustained growth and inclusive prosperity, the true promise of a prosperous, smart megacity. Anchored in multi-year framework, the 2026 Anambra Appropriation Bill reflects on Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo's blueprint, seeking to transform Anambra State, enhance public services, and lay the background for a more prosperous future. Follow us on our social media platforms, our Solution Footprints on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and Solution FP on X, formerly Twitter. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Indeed, Anambra is rising. Ciao.
All our hearts, we pray and ask. God bless Anambra. God bless the shining light that we bear.